Good morning, dear students. In the last class, we have studied about database replication and its basic components, and the database environment support two basic types of sites, master sites and slave sites. A replication group can be associated with one or more master sites and with one or more slave sites. Function of a master site. It controls a replication group by maintaining a complete copy of all objects in a replication group, and it propagates any changes in a replication group to copies located at any of the slave sites. The function of slave sites. A slave site can contain all or a subset of objects from a replication group, but only contain a snapshot of a replication group. A snapshot site is refreshed periodically to synchronize it with its master site. For a replication environment with many master sites, all sites communicate directly with one another to continually propagate data changes in the replication group, so that only it will be updated. In this section, we are discussing about database replication environments, that is, whether database replication is maintained using synchronous or asynchronous replication, and whether one or more sites has ownership of a master copy of a replicated data. First is synchronous replication. Here, the replicated data is updated immediately when the source data is updated, typically using two-phase commit protocol. While this mechanism may be applicable for some environments that must keep all replicas should be fully synchronized, such as a financial application. Here, a large number of messages are required to coordinate the synchronization. It is having some disadvantages also. If one or more sites that hold replicas are unavailable, the transaction cannot be completed. Next is data ownership. Ownership means it relates to which site has privilege to update the data. The main types of ownership are master slave, workflow and update anywhere ownership. First is master slave ownership. Here, asynchronously replicated data is owned by one master site and it can be updated by only that site. Here it is using the publish and subscribe method. That means the master site makes the data available. All the slave sites are subscribed to the data which is owned by the master site, and the slave sites receive only read-only copies on their local system. and potentially each site can be the master site for non-overlapping datasets, but update conflicts cannot occur. That means only the master site will be making the changes. The slave sites get only the read-only copy. Then there are two applications for this master slave ownership. First is data dissemination. Dissemination means act of spreading something. This is the environment where data is updated in a central location and then replicated to the read-only site. For example, product information such as price list could be maintained at the headquarters site and it is replicated to the read-only copies held at the remote branches. Next application of master-slave ownership is data consolidation. This is the environment where data can be updated locally and they are brought together in a read-only repository in one location. And it gives data ownership and autonomy at each site. So on. This is an example of workflow ownership. The next is update anywhere ownership. It creates a peer-to-peer environment where multiple sites have equal rights to update replicated data, and it allows local sites to function autonomously even when other sites are not available. Here it is a shared ownership that may lead to conflict scenarios, and it have to employ methodology for conflict detection and resolution. This is an example of update anywhere ownership. Here in all the sites updates are possible, so definitely conflict may occur. Next is replication server functionality. The basic function of a replication server is to copy data from Then there are some implementation issues also, which are the while implementing the replication server, there are transactional updates, snapshots, and database triggers, and conflict detection and resolution. First is transactional updates. In early replication mechanism that was non-transactional, which means data was copied without maintaining the atomicity of the transaction. And with a transactional based mechanism, structure of the original transaction on source database is also maintained at the target site. Then snapshot. It allows asynchronous distribution of changes to individual tables, collection of tables, views, or partition of tables according to predefined schedules. And it is a common approach for snapshots which uses the recovery log which minimizes the extra overhead of the system. And in some database management system, its process is a part of server, while in others it runs as a separate external server. And in the case of network or site failure, it needs to queue to hold updates until the connection is restored. To ensure integrity, order of the updates must be maintained during the delivery. Then database triggers. A database trigger is a stored procedural code that is automatically executed in response to certain events on a particular table or view in a database. And it could allow users to build their own replication application using database triggers. And it is the user's responsibility to create code within trigger that will execute whenever appropriate event occurs. This is an example of a database trigger, and there are some drawbacks of this database triggers. Management and execution of triggers have a additional performance overhead, and it is a burden on application or network if master table is updated frequently, and triggers cannot be scheduled, and it is difficult to synchronize the replication of multiple related tables. And the activation of triggers cannot be easily undone in event of abort or rollback. Then third one is conflict detection and resolution. When multiple sites are allowed to update replicated data, there should be some methods to detect conflicting updates and restore data consistency. For a single table, source site should send both old and new values for any rows updated since the last refresh. And at the target site, the replication server can check each row in the target database that has also been updated against this. So, in this class, we were studying about different database replication environments, that is synchronous versus asynchronous replication. Synchronous replication means when some updates are happening at the same time, replicas also will be updated. But in the case of asynchronous replication, it is not updated immediately. It will take some time in updating. Then we have studied about three types of data ownership: master slave, workflow, and update anywhere ownership. And we have studied about replication server functionalities and the issues in implementing database replication. Thank you.